Hello everyone, welcome to a new update video. It's been quite a while since we've had one of these, but this is a pretty important one, and I'm going to be trying to be more consistent with my update videos going forward, and there's quite a few reasons for that. So I'll also be announcing what games I want to play in October this video, but let's go ahead and get the big announcement out of the way. So I'm going to be launching a Patreon for the channel. There's a few reasons for this. One being, like, it's good to have like a revenue source that's separate from YouTube. I tried out the YouTube memberships thing, and it's convenient in some ways and not great in others. Like, the revenue split for it is horrible, and I didn't really know what to offer as perks on it, basically. I'll probably still keep the YouTube membership around, but just lower it to like the bare minimum that I can. And, you know, you'll get like a special badge beside your name, and you'll have access to the emotes to using comments and stuff. So it'll probably still stay around, just take kind of a backseat to the Patreon. And I'm going to put a lot of the perks on the Patreon just because the revenue split is better, like I said. So why I feel the need to do this is, especially with me kind of fixing my computer and stuff a lot recently, like, that was a lot of expense that just basically came out of pocket for me, and realizing that, like, especially since I've started playing like a bunch of AAA games and Nintendo games since I got a capture card, the expenses that are coming out of pocket for me are really starting to add up. And YouTube revenue doesn't even come close to covering that. So having a way to at least kind of like break even, so I'm not funneling as much money as I am into the YouTube channel, is probably a good idea, and will allow me to just do more things and have more consistent kind of income from this rather than just ad revenue. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to kind of do this. This also gives me the opportunity to play older games, because people have probably noticed that a lot of the time I don't play, you know, older games. Usually if I do, it's because, like, oh, the sequel is coming out soon, so I'm going to play the first game in time for the sequel, but that lines up algorithmically, so that makes sense. And if there's like nothing coming out, maybe I'll play an older game. But even then, like when I played Paper Mario 64, I did a modded playthrough of that. I didn't do a normal playthrough of that. So this kind of gives me a way to play games that are just, you know, no new people are going to come and watch this video. No new people are going to come to the channel from it. But it doesn't matter, because the people on Patreon specifically are going to be voting for it. So let's get into how the process works a little bit. Basically, the perks of the Patreon are going to be, we have 3 tiers. There's the $2 tier, which is the first one, and it's going to be, you get your name in the credits, you get a special role in the Discord, and you get the ability to vote on what games I play. There's going to be one slot that goes up each day that is going to be a viewer voted video slot, basically. And how this is going to work is you're going to vote on the games, on a list of games that are populated by me. I may put some of my choices on there sometimes, and people that are in another tier that can specifically nominate games to the list. So people that are like, oh, I want to see you play this game. With that tier, you'll be able to nominate a game for people to vote on that I might play, basically. I see it as a good way, like I said, to play older games, because there's been a lot of instances, like when I played Metroid, where people were like, oh yeah, are you interested in playing any of the other Metroid games? And I couldn't be at the time because there were all these new things coming out that I wanted and needed to play. So I just couldn't play like all the Metroid games, but if people want to see me go through the entire Metroid series, this is a good opportunity for that to happen. Etc, etc. People have also mentioned, like, while I'm playing Sea of Stars, like, oh, are you going to play The Messenger? And that would be really cool. I would be super down to play The Messenger, but there's like constantly new stuff coming out. So by having a dedicated slot that people that are subbed on the Patreon for vote on, means that I can play some of these games that normally I would be like, that's probably not a very good idea for me to play on the channel. This way I can play those kinds of things, and I can play different things basically, rather than just feeling like I have to do the new hotness all the time just because of the YouTube algorithm. But I mean, obviously, yeah, I don't play like a lot of big popular AAA games. I usually steer away from those. I play a lot of indies and stuff like that, but I still generally play new games, as people have probably noticed. So I see this as a way to kind of introduce more classic playthroughs and stuff like that to the channel, because there's all kinds of older games I would love to play on the channel, and I just never feel like there's a good way to fit it in. But this is a good way to warrant it. So yeah, $2 tier, role in the Discord, name in the credits of every single video, and the ability to vote on games. So the next tier is a $5 tier, and basically that tier gives you all the benefits from the first tier, but it's called the extra voting tier because you also get the ability to vote on one of the games that I stream. So currently this is a benefit that's already available to people that are subscribed on Twitch, but basically I added this as a middle tier to kind of bridge the gap between the other two tiers that I have. And I thought it was a good way for like people that mostly only watch streams on like the archive channel. Like obviously I stream at a time that's only, you know, acceptable for like one time zone, basically. So it, like for people in like Europe and stuff, usually when I stream it's like very, very late for them. So some people may just watch the videos on the archive channel. This is a way for people on the archive channel, if they can never catch the Twitch streams, to still kind of sway what I play. So Twitch subscribers vote on this, and people in this tier on the Patreon vote on this. And basically, I have one slot for streams that basically stream every day, and then I swap between two different games. So one of those games I swap to will always be a viewer submitted or viewer voted idea. The only thing with this is I do choose what goes on this list. The YouTube game playlist, that is chosen by people on the Patreon, but the stream playlist, I usually choose the games for that. I do take like kind of user or viewer ideas, but usually it's just like, oh, I'm interested in like doing these 6 things, and people that are sub to the Twitch and in this tier can vote on that, basically. So people can have a little bit of leverage over what I stream. You can make me do some like stuff that will make me go crazy. Currently, the one that won the stream voted user chosen thing is me doing a Pokemon Stadium rental randomizer, and anyone familiar with that knows that it is sadistic, and it will probably be hilarious to watch. So that kind of stuff, basically. And the process, how that process works and how the voting process works on Patreon is basically when you're sub to that tier, you'll get a little message on Patreon. You'll have a form to fill out that'll be like, which one of these games do you want? And you can pick multiple, you don't have to pick one. So you can vote for everything if you want, or you can vote for nothing if you want, or you can vote for like 1 or 2 if you want. So basically that's how the voting process works. And there will be a post on Patreon. You'll also get emailed about it. And yeah, you'll just go to the forum, fill it out, and then your vote will be counted for whatever vote I'm doing, basically. So I'm really bad at explaining this. Feel free to ask any questions about it in the comments. I've never done this kind of stuff before, and I feel very, very out of place explaining it. So I'm sorry if this is coming off as confusing. Obviously on the Patreon, there's a lot of detail that I've been meticulously writing out over the past few weeks for this kind of stuff. So I'll of course post the link to Patreon in like the comments in the description and stuff for this video, so people can go there and check it out if they want. But the final tier is $10, and it is a nominating tier. This is specifically for people that want to nominate something to go on the list. Of course, you get all the benefits from the previous thing, and your name, your name in the credits, the role in the Discord. You get the ability to vote on streams, you get the ability to vote on like YouTube playthroughs, etc., etc. But you can also nominate games to go on the list. So, as I mentioned earlier, the list is filled by some games I might want to play. I'll put a few games on there myself. Once we get enough people nominating, I might not have to do that anymore, but this is kind of just a way to help fill the list out, basically. So people will be able to nominate. If somebody's like, I want to see you play Ghosts and Goblins, I want to see Quasi Cry, you can nominate Ghosts and Goblins, and other people will vote on it. And if the majority of people want to see me cry, then I will play Ghosts and Goblins and cry. And it will probably be hilarious. But that's the kind of thing that I'm working with here. If somebody's like, oh, Quasi never got to the Metroid series, I want to see more of the Metroid series, nominate a Metroid game. If people want to see me play Mario, you nominate that. Really, the only thing that I'm not doing that is like obviously porn games and stuff like that. But this is also a good way to nominate series that normally I wouldn't play because YouTube will demonetize them. Something that's currently going on with YouTube a lot is if there's any sort of gore at all, YouTube will demonetize it immediately. This happened with one of my Lies of P videos, for example, because there was like, a bloody carcass on the screen. People that... There's not a lot of Mortal Kombat 1 footage on YouTube, and if there is, it's blurred. And that is because YouTube will demonetize it if there is any gore at all, which not only makes it so you don't get any ad revenue from it, but also algorithmically kills the video. So this is a good way to have things like that come in, because there's not a lot of playthroughs of like Scorn and stuff on YouTube either, and it's for a lot of the same reasons. You have to blur a lot of stuff. So it would give me a way to kind of play those games, because obviously if I'm getting the money from Patreon and my patrons wanted me to play this, who gives a damn if YouTube's gonna demonetize the thing? Screw you, YouTube. So it opens up the kinds of games I can play. Like I said, obviously not gonna play like porn games. That's not gonna happen. It wouldn't be a good thing. It wouldn't be right for YouTube. It wouldn't fit the channel, basically, any of that. So that's basically the only thing I'm not gonna do that. As far as games you can nominate, like modded playthroughs, older games, if you want me to replay a game for some reason or another, do that. I'll also have a list available on the Patreon of games like I have played and games that like I want to play, so that people can kind of look to that if they want to know what they want to nominate, or if like people are curious about whether it's my first time playing a game or not, because with something like Return of the Obra Dinn, if I've played that game before, probably don't want to see me play it because I know the twist, stuff like that. So I'll be sure to include if it's like a first time playthrough or not. But basically how the nomination works is you'll get a form just like you do for the other tiers, and it'll be like, what game do you want to see me play? And effectively how it works is I'll send those out to get all the nominations before I actually do the voting post. So I'll get all the nominations, put my picks in there, get a full list of what games are currently being voted on, send that out to the voters, they'll vote on that, and then right when the current viewer voted game ends, I'll have the results from that, and we can immediately hop into the new game. So of course, bearing that in mind, this series will usually be a little bit further ahead than the live stuff, just because I'll have to stay a little bit ahead to kind of get a time frame for when the game is, the current game is ending. Because I want to give people a good amount of time to vote, because, not everybody's going to be looking at their email or paying attention to this dumb YouTuber's Patreon every single day. So giving people enough time to vote, because everybody has busy schedules, seems like a good idea to me. So there will be like a few days for nominating and then a few days for voting, basically, and then we'll hop into the next game. So some things about that, as far as nominating goes in general. Obviously, as I've seen with other channels, nominating longer games is like a double-edged sword, because sometimes you want to see a longer game, Sometimes a lot of people want to see like a 100-hour RPG. That means we're not going to have another vote for like months, so that's something to keep in mind. Usually shorter games are great because, I can like, if I play like, if a bunch of people vote for like 4 7-hour games, oh, okay, we're having 4 votes in a month. So we're getting through some stuff and people get to vote and nominate and stuff a lot that month. If I play like Breath of the Wild, okay, we're going to be here for a while. So there's not going to be a vote for quite a bit. So there's things like that to consider. Just a lot to consider with this stuff. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, like I said. Put a lot of like thought looking at how other YouTubers and stuff do it. Etc., etc. But it seems like a good step for the channel to take, especially with YouTube getting even weirder about ads. I'm sure more and more people are just going to start using ad block on YouTube, because YouTube is pushing ads like aggressively and obsessively because they want to make as much money from Google AdSense as they possibly can. So yeah, it seems like a good way to kind of diversify the revenue sources for the channel, and hopefully just to make it a more stable thing, because I would love to keep doing this forever, I enjoy doing this. It's a very, very fun time. I enjoy reading awesome, wholesome comments about how, like, this video and this playthrough made their day, or it was really fun, and things like that. So it's just a really, really fun experience for me, and I want it to be as best as it possibly can. And this will help to do that, because not only can I invest in, like, better equipment, it's not draining my money as much, stuff like that. It'll just help out in so many ways. I can get cool new art, I can get cool new animations, I can get all kinds of awesome things that you can do with this sort of stuff. So I just want to see the channel become the best that it can be, and I never really ever expected to get to this point, and now that I'm here, I kind of don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anybody that's watched me play any game will know, oh yeah, this dumbass does not know what the hell he's doing. So this is no exception, but I think it's a good place to go, and once again, I'm rambling again, but in short, perks that you get across the various tiers. There's a 2, 5, and 10 tier. There, you get your name in the credits, you get to vote on games, you get to vote on stream games, you get to nominate games, and you get a special role in the Discord. So those are all the benefits currently on offer. Like I said, the channel memberships will probably stay around, but I'm going to make it, like, ludicrously cheap just for people that, you know, want the emotes and want a star beside their name on YouTube, basically. But yeah, something I've been kind of mulling over for quite a while, and a lot of people seem like they want to be able to, you know, be like, oh yeah, you should play this game, or you should play that game. And sometimes, especially getting requests from so many different people, it's not always viable for me to play everything that people request. So having a way where everybody can just kind of vote on, out of a huge pool of user requests, what they want, seems like a good way to handle it. So I look forward to whatever cruel concoctions people can come up with that they want me to play, because the stream voted stuff has been especially weird. As I mentioned, we had today I'm going to be doing a rental randomizer, a Pokemon Stadium rental randomizer. Before, I had an entire day of just playing weird, shitty fishing games that were on PlayStation Plus. That's what they voted for, and that was quite a wild time. So, but yeah, if you've made it to this point of the video, thank you so much. Obviously, support is not required or anything like that. I appreciate every single person that sits down and watches any of my videos, because it really is just an honor to have people actually care enough to sit down and watch them. And that's why I tried to make the perks, like, very obviously optional. I'm not gating videos behind this. All of these videos will be up on YouTube. It's not just being gated behind on Patreon. The only thing that is on Patreon is the ability to vote and nominate things for the videos, basically. So that's it. Depending on how well this does, because this is something I've thought about too, we could maybe have a second viewer voted slot at some point, because something I've seen that other channels struggle with is, yeah, if people consistently want them to play really, really long games, some people are like, oh, well, now you know, there's not, you're not playing shorter games, now I have to wait for this really, really long game to end before I'm interested. So maybe I could do 2 slots at some point, depending. We'll see. But yeah, from here on out, it's going to be 1 slot that is entirely chosen by viewers, and the other 2-3 slots will be chosen by me, depending. So yeah, that's my whole spiel done with. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk about what games I want to play in October. Just getting this video together took me many tries, because I'm not very good at speaking. And my thoughts are all over the place, so it's nice to be looking at my Audacity thing and be 19 minutes into the video right now. I've heard so many videos like these from YouTubers I've watched before, and I was always thinking to myself when they were going on, I'm like, how did they do that? How do you do that? And look at me, now I've done one, which is crazy. My update video is usually pretty cut and dry, here's what I'm playing and that's it. I don't usually get into, like, the behind the scenes stuff or anything like that, but yeah, if you made it this far, thank you. So, games I want to play in October. I'm just going to go over these really quickly, because this video is getting a little bit long. Mario Wonder comes out October 20th. Interested in playing Mario Wonder. Lords of the Fallen, I believe, comes out. Let me just look really here. I'm not recording my screen this time just because I was doing the whole big spiel thing with the new Patreon. So, Lords of the Fallen comes out October 13th. Don't know if I'll be finished with Lies of P before that comes out, so people have to tell me if they're interested at all in it or not. That's another thing, speaking of, with like stuff. People have mentioned like, oh, it would be cool to see you play other Souls games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and stuff like that. I would love to, there just never feels like there's a good time to fit it in, but if enough people voted on it, obviously I'll play it. So that's another good thing that that kind of gave me the idea for this. There's the new Yakuza game, The Man Who Lost His Name or something like that, which is supposed to be kind of a lead-in to Yakuza 8, or Like a Dragon 2, basically. The whole series is so long and it gets very confusing, but basically the order goes currently from the new series. It goes Like a Dragon, The Man Who Forgot His Name, and then Like a Dragon 2. So I'm going to be playing that game on stream. I have played Yakuza 7 on stream, or Like a Dragon. I have played that on stream, and I'm excited for Like a Dragon 2 when it comes out. So obviously I'm going to be playing this game. That is definitely confirmed. I'm going to be playing that on stream, which seems like it'll be a fun time. Next, Sonic Superstars. 2 platformers in 1 month. It's wild, I know. But this one looks fun. I don't think it's required co-op. And I don't even know how good it'll be yet. Or if anybody even wants to see it. That comes out October 17th. Quite bold of Sega to release this so close to when Mario Wonder is coming out, I've got to say. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. I like Sonic, personally. I know a lot of people don't like Sonic games. I think they're hilarious and fun, and I grew up with Sonic Adventure, so I, for example, would love to play Sonic Adventure on the channel sometime, so that's a thing. Slay the Princess. I thought this could be a good horror game, because yes, it is a horror game. Slay the Princess is like it's like a visual novel, and it has branching paths, but yeah, basically all the Steam description says is you're here to slay the princess, don't believe her lies. And there's all kinds of different endings and paths you can take, and everything is not as it seems and stuff. It seems like a really, really fun time, so I thought I would add that one to the list. And then, that's everything for October that I'm currently interested in. Keep in mind with the new series and all of that, that's gonna take some time to kind of, you know, we have less slots this month because of that. Talos Principle 2 comes out in early November, so it would be cool if I could squeeze in Talos Principle 1 in time for Talos Principle 2, because I am very, very interested in Talos Principle 2. It's like a puzzle game for any people that don't know. So, yeah. And I guess I should mention one thing really, really quickly. So, the first quote-unquote, it's like the start of the time slot, basically. Because what's going to happen is, I'm going to release this video, people are going to go sign up for the Patreon, I'll have to get nominations from people, and then I'll have to get votes from people. What's going to happen to that time slot while I wait for that to happen? The answer is, I'm going to play The Messenger. The Messenger is fairly short. It's like a 12-15 hour game. I'll also play the DLC. I think it's called Picnic Panic or something like that. So I'm going to play The Messenger while people sign up for the Patreon, and I get nominations and I get votes. And I'll probably do hour-long episodes of that just so we can get through it quickly. Possibly hour-and-a-half long episodes at some point or something. I don't know. But we'll get through The Messenger really quickly while I kind of gather everybody's votes, because I already know people want that. It'll be interesting to have it running alongside Sea of Stars. So we'll play The Messenger, and then when The Messenger ends and I have everybody's nominations and votes, the new game will start. So as soon as this video goes live, you can immediately go to the Patreon, sign up, and probably very soon I'll be getting nominations, or if nobody even goes for the nominating tier, I'll just fill out the list myself. And then shortly after that, we will have the voting process, and people can vote on what they want to see. And then as soon as the messenger ends, new Patreon game starts. And that's going to start this entire process. And it's a little bit intimidating, but it's exciting too, because I don't know. It's exciting for me because I'm not going to know what people are going to vote for. You know, it's gonna be a fun time for me. So hopefully people like this. I think it's a cool idea, and obviously the reality of the situation is like, yeah, I need, if I'm going to keep up with like all these new releases that are costing like $60 and $70, and you know, a $20 indie game that, you know, is like 4 hours long, I keep buying those, like a ton of those each month and stuff. It starts to add up, and I'll need a little bit of help with that stuff, because currently it's just coming out of pocket. Especially with student loans starting back up for anybody in the US. Yeah, that started back up for me, so that's fun. The video kind of blew, the channel kind of blew up for me during COVID, just because, for anybody unaware, before COVID, I was going into the office. A little bit of quasi lore for you here. Before COVID, I was going into the office, and when I was doing that, I was only uploading 2 30-minute videos per day. And at that particular point, I think I had like sub 1,000 subscribers. So I was still very small. I think my biggest series then was like Bug Fables and maybe Untitled Goose Game. And then once I started gaining the ability to work from home due to COVID, I'm still currently working from home. It really opened up my ability to record more, have more active series, stuff like that. So that's kind of when the channel started to take off, as it were. Obviously, I'm still incredibly small time. I'm like a Z tier YouTuber. But that's when things started to pick up, because I could just upload more consistently, do more cool stuff with editing, record for longer periods of time, have longer episodes and all of that. So that's probably where a lot of you joined, although I do still have a lot of the people that have been here since pre-COVID, and it's crazy that people have stuck with me for that long. So really, really, truly, thank you so much. No matter if you sign up for the Patreon, if you don't sign up for the Patreon, just viewing my video means, any of my videos means a ton to me, and any support I absolutely love, and it's fantastic to see. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching my videos and listening to me ramble on for 27 minutes if you made it this far. And yeah, big changes are coming soon. Hopefully they're enjoyable. I'm going to stop rambling. See you next time.